The problem with socialism is that you eventually run out of other people's money. A unified Europe is the result of plans. It is, in fact, a classic utopian project, a monument to the vanity of intellectuals, a program whose inevitable destiny is failure. Only the scale of the final damage done is in doubt. A man may climb Everest for himself, but at the summit he plants his country's flag. A man who, beyond the age of 26, finds himself on a bus can count himself as a failure. Communism produces neither dignity nor prosperity. It takes all power away from the people and places it in the hands of a self-appointed elite. And because it distorts and manipulates the distinctive talents of individuals, rather than letting those talents flourish, it prevents progress and prosperity. Disciplining yourself to do what you know is right and important, although difficult, is the high road to pride, self-esteem, and personal satisfaction. Do you know that one of the great problems of our age is that we are governed by people who care more about feelings than they do about thoughts and ideas? Don't follow the crowd. Let the crowd follow you. Europe will never be like America. Europe is a product of history. America is a product of philosophy. Everything a politician promises at election time has to be paid for either by higher taxation or by borrowing. Freedom is not synonymous with an easy life. There are many difficult things about freedom. It does not give you safety. It creates moral dilemmas for you. It requires self-discipline. It imposes great responsibilities. But such is the nature of man, and in such consists his glory and salvation. I do not know anyone who has got to the top without hard work. That is the recipe. It will not always get you to the top, but should get you pretty near. I started out in life with two great advantages: no money and good parents. If my critics saw me walking over the Thames, they would say it was because I couldn't swim. If you set out to be liked, you will accomplish nothing. If you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. If your only opportunity is to be equal, then it is not opportunity. In my work, you get used to criticisms. Of course you do, because there are a lot of people trying to get you down. But I always cheer up immensely if one is particularly wounding, because I think, well, if they attack one personally, it means they have not a single political argument left. That is why my father always taught me, never worry about anyone who attacks you personally. It means their arguments carry no weight, and they know it. Individualism has come in for an enormous amount of criticism over the years. It still does. It is widely assumed to be synonymous with selfishness. But the main reason why so many people in power have always disliked individualism is because it is individualists who are ever keenest to prevent the abuse of authority. Left-wing zealots have often been prepared to ride roughshod over due process and basic considerations of fairness when they think they can get away with it. For them, the ends always seems to justify the means. That is precisely how their predecessors came to create the Gulag. Let us never forget this fundamental truth. The state has no source of money other than money which people earn themselves. If the state wishes to spend more, it can do so only by borrowing your savings or by taxing you more. It is no good thinking that someone else will pay, that someone else is you. There is no such thing as public money. There is only taxpayers' money. Look at a day when you are supremely satisfied at the end. It's not a day when you lounge around doing nothing. It's a day you've had everything to do and you've done it. Marxists get up early to further their cause. We must get up even earlier to defend our freedom. Never flinch. Make up your own mind and do it. Pennies do not come from heaven. They have to be earned here on earth. People constantly requesting government intervention are casting their problems at society. And you know, there's no such thing as society. There are individual men and women, and there are families. And no government can do anything except through people, and people must look after themselves first. It is our duty to look after ourselves, and then also to look after our neighbors. Power is like being a lady. If you have to tell people you are, you aren't. Socialists are happy until they run out of other people's money. Socialists crib power to the people and raise the clenched fist as they say it. We all know what they really mean: power over people, power to the state. Socialists have always spent much of their time seeking new titles for their beliefs because the old versions so quickly become outdated and discredited. That nations that have gone for equality, like communism, have neither freedom nor justice nor equality. They've the greatest inequalities of all. The privileges of the politicians are far greater compared with the ordinary folk than in any other country. The nations that have gone for freedom, justice, and independence of people have still freedom and justice, and they have far more equality between their people, far more respect for each individual than the other nation. Go my way. You will get freedom and justice and much less difference between people than you do in the Soviet Union. The desire to win is born in most of us. The will to win is a matter of training. The manner of winning is a matter of honor. The feminists hate me, don't they? And I don't blame them, for I hate feminism. It is poison. The first step in calculating which way to go is to find out where you are. The government has no money of its own. It's all your money. The Labour Party believes in turning workers against owners. We believe in turning workers into owners. The price of freedom is still, and always will be, eternal vigilance. The woman's mission is not to enhance the masculine spirit, but to express the feminine. Hers is not to preserve a man-made world, but to create a human world by the infusion of the feminine element into all of its activities. There are too many people who imagine that there is something sophisticated about always believing the best of those who hate your country and the worst of those who defend it. There's no such thing as entitlement unless someone has first met an obligation. Watch your thoughts, for they become words. Watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your actions, for they become habits. Watch your habits, for they become your character. And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. What we think, we become. My father always said that. And I think I am fine. We want a society in which we are free to make choices, to make mistakes, to be generous and compassionate. That is what we mean by a moral society, not a society in which the state is responsible for everything, and no one is responsible for the state.